chapter 129, we continue up the steps, Shir Hama'alot, a song of ascents, Rabat, Tziraruni Minu Urai Yomarna Yisrael. Since my youth, they have been my enemies, and they've assailed me, they've spoken down upon me. So now Yomarna Yisrael. We talked that, of course, earlier in the Hollow Prayer. We have Yomarna Yisrael, we have Yomruna Beit Aaron, we have Yomruna Yireh Hashem, and this is the second time here in chapter 128. We had Kol Yareh, like Yomruna Yireh Hashem, and so we have allusions to those earlier chapters here in these chapters as well. What does he say? So we've talked about many of these prayers. The Shirei Hamalot are prayers of joy, prayers of happiness, the pilgrim going up to Jerusalem or having come back to Jerusalem and reflecting upon it. But some of them have been about the sorrows in life, calling out to God, where will my help come from? And here, let's see what this one is. And we see, at least in that verse, it seems to be not so great. Rabat Siraruni Meinu Urai, repeat of the first, right, from the first verse. Siraruni mean the exact same words, right? They've assailed me from my youth, Gamlo Yachluli. But even though so many people have talked down to me and been discouraging and been horrific, they have not overcome me. They have not been yachol. They have not completely destroyed me. Al gabi charshu chorshim ha'erichu lema'anitam. So we have, right, Choresh, a plowman. They plowed against my back. They did everything that they could. They made long furrows for me, right? They made things really hard. I was inside the pits. They were trying to break me, to not allow me to move forward, but it didn't work. And why not? Adonai Tzadik Kitzeitz Avot Rishaim. God, the Tzadik, the righteous one or the correct one, snapped the cords of the wicked, right? Their avot, their ropes, their cords were snapped. They were cut, and therefore, right, they have not been able to overtake me. I was, in a sense, it was like I was attached to a yoke, right? The furrows. This is where I am, but now God has cut their cords. Evoshu v'yiskor achor. We're in verse 5, pasuk Hey. Kol sonei Zion. Let all who hate Zion fall back in disgrace. And just, let's listen to that verse again. Yevoshu v'yisko achor kol sonei Zion. Let all those who hate Zion fall back in disgrace. What it meant then means something different today, right? The colonial Zionists, etc., etc. Last time I checked, before there was a Muhammad, before there was Islam, we have whatever date you want to put the Tehillim at. You want to say it's all from David. You want to say some of it came a little bit later. Some of it even came Second Temple period, perhaps, as some say about the Shirei Hama'alot, or right. So even if it's only from 500, 400 before the Common Era, what do we have here over and over again? We've talked about Yerushalayim is hardly mentioned in this book, but Zion, 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 Zion. So without getting into too much politics, Zionism as a political movement may be only 120, 150 years old, whatever it is, but Zionism and Zion as the idea of a Jewish autonomous state, holding off despite the haters and the enemies, etc., who have tried to pull us down, lo yachluli, as we say. And so the Sonei Zion, keep going. We're not going anywhere. Lo yachluli. Yihiyu kachatzir gagot shekadmat shalaf yavesh. Let them be like grass on roofs that fades before it can be pulled up. Shelo milei chapo kotzer v'chitzno me'amer, that affords no handful for the reaper, no armful for the gatherer of sheaves. Okay, so right there, they're trying, but they're going to be like a grass on the roofs. So it's going to be uprooted. That's what's going to happen. Their plans are going to be uprooted. It's not going to take strong hold. It's not going to be deep into the ground. Like, let's say, go back to the beginning of Tehillim, we talk about the tree with the very, very strong roots and branches. That's not what it's going to be. V'lo omru Ha'ovrim birkat Adonai alechem, beirachnu etchem b'shem Adonai. They don't make an exchange with passerby saying, the blessing of God be upon you. We bless you with the name of God. And that's something that, what is this referring to? It's sort of a strange verse, but according to some, what it's going back to is the book of Ruth. In the book of Ruth, when Boaz would go to his fields and see his workers, he would say, Yivarech Hashem, he would bless them in the name of God. And the idea here, I believe what it's trying to say is that the ones who are planting deep into the ground, not just the grass on the roofs. And I know, of course, a green roof is popular for environmental reasons today and for good reasons. And you go out to Scotland or different places which are very wet, and Ireland, and you see green roofs on top of many of the sort of the old houses which weren't planted as green roofs. It just sort of happened based upon the material and lots of rain. But as opposed to that roof, which is on a building, which is on a structure, which will fall down, and it's not necessarily something that's going to remain forever. When we talk about something that's going into the ground, that's going to be deep and is going to be thick and is going to be strong and is going to remain. That's what's going on here. Those are the people who are digging and are not building but planting deep roots into the ground. These are the planters in Israel. That's who is doing that. And so it's saying, that's the difference in this chapter. I've been scrolling because I couldn't remember the exact verse, but if we go back, if you trust me on this one, the second chapter of Ruth in verse 4, so it's Bet Dalid, it says, V'nei Boaz ba mi Beit Lechem, vayomer lekotzrim Adonai imachem, vayomru lo yivarechecha Adonai. Boaz came from Bethlehem, and he went out to his fields, and he saw the kotzrim, the reapers, the harvesters, and he said, God is with you. And they responded to him, right? Yivarech Hashem, God blesses you. And that's before he first recognizes, asks who Ruth is. And so I think also thinking about that specific allusion within this chapter of Tehillim, as opposed to the Sonei Sion, those people who are passing by, they're just passing by the Sonei Sion. The people who are building into the ground, the roots, who are building roots, are not just building roots into Israel and not just building, trees but what are they doing as well? If we think about the book of Ruth and Boaz, of course, are the great grandparents of David. They're the great grandparents of the king of Israel, the uniter of Israel, the ones whose dynasty, when God says to David, you will not build the Beit HaMikdash, your son will, but your dynasty will last forever. So I think we can look and we can see that within this verse, if we understand it through the prism of Ruth and Boaz, we can see how much more it's saying. The Sonei Tzion are here today, they're gone tomorrow. We are the ones who are Yivarech Hashem. We are the ones who are saying, Hashem imachem, is God with you? And they say yes. And that signifies not a short term, but a long lasting, deep root, deep branch, deep into the ground, deep into the earth of Israel. And one, just like David's dynasty, will last forever, God says, and we await for his descendant, the Messiah, to arrive. That's what we say confidently on this day and all days to the Ohavei Tzion, to those who love Zion, that we are digging deep and building deep roots into the ground, and ones that will last not just today and tomorrow, but that with God together will last forever.